Hey everybody, this is Charles from ESF in Hong Kong. Welcome to our live stream this afternoon where we're going to talk about opportunities with ESF in Hong Kong and why you want to consider moving to Hong Kong. But to start off with, I'm really happy to introduce the ESF Talent Acquisition Team. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. And I want to take a moment for you to meet this team and get to know them. So Kunal, why don't you start off by introducing yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Charles. Hi, everyone. I'm the head of talent acquisition for ESF. Um, I'm very excited to be here and excited to share some information about joining our wonderful organization. So I'll pass the baton on to Karen.
Hi all, I'm Karen, also from the Talent Acquisition Team. Really happy to be here in the live today. So I've been with ESF for quite a few years now, and I work mostly with primary schools and kindergartens.
Thanks,
Good
Karen.
afternoon,
Mike?
everyone. Hi, thank you very much, Charles. My name is Mike Dieppe. I'm part of the talent acquisition team as well. Very happy to be here to share some of my experiences, and I take care of mainly secondary phase recruitment along with recruitment for the SF Center as well.
Excellent. Thanks, Mike, Karen, and Kunal. And just for our viewers out there, drop us a comment and let us know from where you're viewing. We'd love to hear that. But I think what we're going to start off with is a little bit of myth busting. Is that correct, Kunal?
Yes. I think, there's a lot of talk and rumors about Hong Kong being closed off, which is partially true, but at the end of the day, we're still seeing a high influx of candidates from overseas come into Hong Kong. And ESF is actively looking for candidates, regardless of where you're from. So it'd be good to just show statistics. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll put those up in a second. We also know, Kunal, that other companies are continuing to attract talent into Hong Kong. So it's not just ESF. The market's still happening.
Actually, the market's more candidate driven and more hot than ever. So, people are still looking to relocate. People are still looking for new experiences. So COVID shouldn't be a stop factor for you to apply to us.
Okay, great. So you wanted to share some statistics?
Yes, that would be great. So these are application rates for primary and kindergarten. And whilst it does look like Hong Kong has this massive skyscraper, it's natural for any market to have majority of your candidates come from the domestic market. But that being said, we still have high application rates from the UK, from China, from the US, from UAE, South Africa, and they're in their hundreds. So although this looks deceiving, it's not necessarily a fair representation. It actually looks quite similar to what we've seen year on year prior to COVID as well. And similarly, even with secondary school, we've seen similar with that. We're seeing still a high number of applications from the UK and China. We've also seen applications outside of our traditional markets as well. So we do welcome you, even if you're not from one of these countries, to continue applying to us, because we are always looking for the best talent. And we know that it comes from anywhere across the world.
And if you actually look at this slide, Kunal, even though Hong Kong, we've got lots of applications coming in from Hong Kong, the numbers are really quite striking. So we've got 700 applications from the UK. We've got 300 applications from the US, and that's for secondary. Got 100 applications from Canada, South Africa, UAE. If we go back one slide here and look at primary, we've got, again, 600 applications from the UK, 250 applications from the United States. So we are attracting people from all over the world, continuing to be interested in ESF.
I think the more important slide, just to correlate to this, is where we hire from. Because regardless of the fact that we have such high application rates in Hong Kong, if you look at the overall spread of the countries that we're hiring out of, there's still majority also outside of Hong Kong. So it's a good mix of domestic as well as individuals from outside of the country. So I think, the application rates are a good indication of the engagement levels. But the hiring rates also show you that we have, in fact, a process that really looks at hiring based on merit and not from where you're based.
Yeah, and you can see here in the last 2 years, so we're currently in the middle of annual recruitment. Well, I guess we're about 65% the way through annual recruitment, and that represents about 55 to 60 applications for teaching posts we're still filling, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so of those positions we've appointed so far, you can see here that about half of them are coming from the UK, and then 20% from Canada, 15% maybe, and then the United States. And then the year before that, the similar metrics can be seen there. So we're attracting people from all over the world.
I think even if you look, before 2021, before COVID, you would probably see that this figure is vastly different. We were hiring, 65% out of the UK. Now we're looking at a much wider region. So again, it's very much about diversifying the way we recruit and looking for talents in the places that are, that most people won't look at. We're looking constantly and keeping an open eye on those areas.
So if people were thinking that people were not coming to Hong Kong, that's a myth that we've now attempted to bust.
Yep. Hopefully we've done a good job with that.
Yeah,
because
hopefully
we get regular emails asking us whether we would consider applications from outside of Hong Kong, and 100% we will definitely consider applications outside of Hong Kong.
Yeah, absolutely. And very proud of our Glassdoor rating of 4.2. So, ESF is a great place to work, and we welcome your application. But what about Hong Kong? I think today we want to focus on why Hong Kong, right?
That's right. I think Mike will probably have a lot to say about his hiking trails and whatnot, but I know Mike lives in one of the greener parts of Hong Kong. So he might have some advice for you about what it's like to live out here.
Well, Hong Kong is a great place to live. I think the common misconception is that we're all skyscrapers and, an urban jungle. But in fact, as you can see by these beautiful vistas here, that we're actually comprised of 70% unspoiled countryside and mountainscapes. So during the weekend or whenever you're free, Hong Kong is a big backyard where you could just pick up your shoes and go for a quick run, quick walk, and just really enjoy and take a breather from the daily stressors of life.
What is your favorite hike in Hong Kong, Mike?
I would say it would be Lion Rock. Lion Rock is the best. It's only because once you get up to the top and you just see that sprawling, beautiful urban scape down there, it makes you really, really appreciate what Hong Kong is all about. It's because, we're a high mix of everything here, and it's easily accessible, and it's just so convenient, right? I can just hop on an MTR. 10 minutes later, I'm at a spot where, I don't even recognize any type of buildings or bricks or anything. It's just all green, and it's just lovely to be in.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it. You can walk out of an MTR station, and then within 5 or 10 minutes, you can be in the middle of a jungle, almost anywhere in Hong Kong.
And get eaten by mosquitoes, but as long as you bring any spray, then you're fine.
And maybe occasional snake or boar might bother you.
Yeah. I see those on the boars.
I think the other good thing about living here is just how quick things get done. Hong Kong is really a city that doesn't sleep. You can get your ID card and open a bank account in days or weeks. It's not going to take you that long to get settled in. So to me, this has been home for me since I was born. It's going to be hard to ever think about leaving Hong Kong. And I think it has that kind of effect on most people that live here. It's very hard to leave once you're here.
Yeah, it really is a very, very beautiful city. No doubt about it. And let's just talk a moment about why ESF. So tell me about that.
So I think, there are multiple facets here as to why to join ESF. There's obviously the financial element of it, which is we have an excellent financial package that provides education allowances, cash allowance. We obviously have our mandatory pension fund here as well, which is a mandatory contribution to your retirement scheme. Some countries don't have them, but Hong Kong does. We have a very strong gratuity element to our contracts as well. And then you've obviously got your medical and healthcare coverage with medical and dental. Mental well-being is constantly on our mind. We have an excellent employee assistance program, which I know you'll talk about more, Charles, about how we've expanded that as well. We do have staff quarters. I've actually recently visited Braemar. It's a great place. I would consider if there was an opportunity in the future to stay there myself. So that's something to look at as well. And then obviously professional reflection and development and our CPD course, our continuous professional development courses, are probably one of the best in Hong Kong. I mentioned this in the last chat. We actually utilize our education and learning platforms that we use within the organization, and we actually apply it to our staff. And I think that's very rare for an organization to do. So I think all of these elements make us a very strong proposition in the market, and very competitive as well, not just locally in Hong Kong but internationally.
Yeah, absolutely. And consistently in the exit interviews, the staff tell us how much they appreciate the professional learning that they receive in ESF. Yeah, absolutely. And what sort of support have we provided? What's it like in Hong Kong at the moment? What sort of support have we provided? Why don't we talk about that journey for people if they're overseas right now watching this?
I'm going to ask Karen and Mike to also step into this one, because we've obviously operationally worked on this day and night last year and continue to do so today. But that's the commitment this team shows to getting you here and your family here as safe as possible. So Mike and Karen, do you want to kick off and just explain some of the work we've done in terms of how we've made life easier for staff members coming into Hong Kong?
Oh, yes, definitely. Given the current situation with COVID, it's definitely not an easy path or a direct path to Hong Kong. Depending on where you are, the entry requirements are very different to Hong Kong, but we're constantly monitoring the Hong Kong government regulations, and we do keep our new teachers posted on it. We also have an ESF blog where we would create content and share what are some good locations to look at in Hong Kong, what are some possibly areas that is a good area to consider when living in Hong Kong. We also help to arrange quarantine hotels booking for our new teachers. And also we also do some periodical check-ins with our teachers, how they're doing, and what are some top of mind queries that they do have.
On top of that as well, too, I mean, getting here is pretty much half the battle.
I'm sorry, Mike.
It's okay, go ahead. So just I think getting here is, I think there's a bit of a lag, so we're catching each other.
Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry. So just to elaborate off of what Karen's mentioned as well, too, given the fluid situation with travel around the world, we're just always there, basically, constantly providing you with feedback and just keeping everybody updated with all the current changes that are happening, and just making sure that everything's right for you. That's it. That's all I really.
Mike, I know that you've worked a lot on the quarantine support. Why don't you, occasionally we have staff that have to go into quarantine. Either they're traveling and return to Hong Kong, or they're caught up in being a close contact and have been in quarantine. How have we responded to people in quarantine?
We've provided them with as much support as possible, sending them anything that they need, ensuring that they have connection to Wi-Fi, which is very, very important. That's one of the first things you want whenever you're anywhere, just to stay connected. So I think that's one of the biggest things that ESF does for any of our staff, is to keep everybody connected and well aware of, what they need, and providing them that support that they need as well, too, right?
Yeah, that's great. And we
Can
have,
I just add to that as well? I think the few initiatives we've actually kicked off and are actually even looking to expand is firstly our care packages. which I know we hear about even outside of ESF. We do send care packages regularly to individuals who are in quarantine. And if they're in for a longer or extended period of time because they're in a high-risk country, they can always call us for anything they need. And so that's the sort of support we give at hand. The other element is obviously the employee assistance program as well. Mental well-being is really important. We're looking at basically running online programs for individuals that have kids who are stuck in a small hotel room. So that's another initiative we're looking to kick off as well. And I think as we progress through COVID, we'll hopefully be in a position where we'll have this as a nailed basically and smoothly rolled out.
And so for new staff coming into ESF, what they can typically expect is that there's a lot of support happening now. So those 100 plus people that we talked about that have already received offers from ESF, they are already in discussions with our ops team. Hi, ops team, if you're out there watching, thanks. You guys are next week. And they will be sorting out things like visa applications, teacher registration qualifications, all those requirements. And then they'll be dialoguing on the journey into Hong Kong, which is live and fluid. So that can be a bit tricky and sometimes stressful for people because, 3 or 4 years ago, you could have predicted when you were coming months in advance, finished a job in the UK and then left within a few days or a week later to come to Hong Kong. But now with the COVID situation, we have to be a little bit more ambiguous and last minute about it. But we're here to support individuals in that journey. And then once what we've done for the last couple of years with induction, normally we hold some fast track inductions and in-person corporate inductions. What we've done for the last couple of years is we've actually had short, what we call Zoom shops. So there's like 45-minute, 60-minute Zooms. We spread them out so that staff can participate in them during quarantine, and people learn about our medical insurance program. They learn about how to stay well in Hong Kong. They learn about housing and where ESF staff live in terms of cohorts spread out. We have about 15% of our ESF staff, or the whole organization, live on Lantau Island, which is where Discovery Bay is, and our school's Discovery College and Tung Chung Kindergarten. So people learn about all the different places to live. Now, this information is also given to staff in advance of coming to Hong Kong. But once they land in Hong Kong, it's a little bit different to actually be here and then to hear the messages again of where people might want to live. We also talk about a lot of routine things like what's it like to file taxes in Hong Kong, how do you get a mobile phone, how do you get an internet connection, all those logistics, and also prepare people for being sort of transitioned into the schools and then receiving a school induction as well from their schools and from their new peers that they'll be working with. And then along the way, they also, so in addition to supporting people during quarantine, we're also finding fun ways for people to meet and greet each other, fun ways for people to learn about Hong Kong. So we have our famous ESF treasure hunt, which in the last 2 years has been an online treasure hunt. But before that was a crazy, amazing race around Hong Kong. And we've also had a new teachers cocktail party. Again, due to COVID, we've had to postpone a few of those. But we do a lot of things to help celebrate our new staff. One of the things that we planned on doing, and then the latest wave 5 of Omicron has prevented us from doing this. You're going to hear my dogs in the background now. But one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to actually get cohorts back together. So our current CEO joined us in 2013, and we were going to find an opportunity for the entire 2013 cohort to join us. And then we'll be moving through all the years because people do bond together. They have a lot of fun, and they say, "Oh yeah, you were the year of 2015," and it's great for people to get reconnected. They do get reconnected through a lot of our CPD offerings, But it's different when it's we want to deliberately connect people because we see it as a welfare and a well-being um, situation, and a way to support people through the current COVID environment that we're all dealing with around the planet. Yep.
I think also the Facebook, we have a Facebook page as well, which is set up just for new joiners. And it's really a way of new joiners to communicate with each other, to tell each other about their journeys, to really share their experiences, and also share some hints and tips, which actually helped tremendously last year. So, where I think that the key thing that we, as Mike mentioned and alluded to, is really keeping everyone connected to the organization throughout their journey here.
Yeah, that's great, Kunal. Thank you for that. Thank you. So what would you, Kunal and Karen, or Mike and Karen? Well, Kunal, you can share this as well. What would be your favorite thing that you like about working at ESF? And while you're thinking about that answer, we'll just drop into the comments here and see who we have here. So we've got Peter, and Peter, I don't know where you're calling in from, but Peter,
Dubai.
greetings to you. Pardon me?
I think he's coming from Dubai, viewing from Dubai, Peter is.
Oh, Dubai. Excellent. Fantastic. And we've also got Ilian here. Thank you, Lillian. Oh, there's Melody from our HR team. Hong Kong is a great place to live. ESF is a big family. Yes, we are, Melody, and thanks for joining us this afternoon. And we've also got a comment here from Manju. Hi, Manju. Thanks for joining us. She says ESF is a great place to work with supportive colleagues and leaders. We've got Tumi. I don't know where Tumi is calling in from, but thanks, Tumi, for joining us today. And we have a question here, Kunal and Mike and Karen. What type of profiles are you looking for? From Edwin.
So I'll start very quickly to say that we're not just looking for teachers, we're also looking for support staff. And by support staff, we mean individuals who help to set up the infrastructure to make everything possible for the organization. So these are educational assistants. We are currently hiring in our own team in HR. We're hiring in finance, IT managers, and desktop support managers. We're hiring administrators who look over admissions. We've also got communications roles, and most importantly for us is nurturing young talent. So interns are something we're looking for throughout the year. We've worked on some amazing projects with interns, so we're always looking for really good interns who may be in their gap year and looking to come to ESF. But Karen and Mike can probably talk a bit more about the teachers and the kind of teachers we look for as well.
And in terms of, let me just jump in about the teaching positions. So we're hiring a whole range of support staff positions, from the more early career individuals to manager level individuals. And then for teachers, we're hiring across the entire spectrum. So we're looking for early career teachers who've got a couple of years experience just after they're receiving their qualified status as a teacher in an overseas market or here in Hong Kong. And we're also looking for people that can take on management responsibility, and even looking for individuals that can be principals. So we have a couple of principal posts that we're filling.
And vice principal.
Yes.
Yeah, and vice principal, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's come back to our other question that I asked earlier. What's your favorite thing about working for ESF? Mike or Karen, who wants to go first?
I can go first. I think Melody mentioned it, and I just want to, echo off of that. Is that we're a big family here. The camaraderie here is amazing, and it's one of the things that I look forward to on a daily basis, just to go into the office and to see the smiling faces of the people that I work with, and just the way we collaborate and interact with each other, and the support that we get from everybody is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great, Mike, and my experience as well. Karen, how about for you?
Yeah, I think definitely same as Mike. Working with great colleagues here, and everyone is very helpful. Like if you have any questions, just don't be afraid to ask, and there's always people willing to help up and be very supportive of.
And Canal, how would you answer that question?
My team.
Your team.
I love working with Karen and Mike. It's we collaborate even for work from home. We're collaborating and we have a good laugh on our calls, and it's just great. The amount of work we've, particularly Mike and Karen, have put in is to basically get staff here, and the commitment they've shown is exceptional. And working with both of them is definitely one of my most favorite things.
I would agree with that. And one thing that Mike and Karen probably don't know is that, well, actually, what they will know is that sometimes we have moments in the office when we're in the office and not working from home where I'll just get up from my desk and I'll come out and chat and share a story or roll my eyes or give someone a high five or something like that. And there's been a few times in the last several weeks when Kunal and I have been on Zooms and we've, had some situation that we're dealing with or coping with. And there'll be a pause, and I'll say to Kunal, "This is when I would get up from my desk and walk outside and talk to you." Yeah, but it really is a great community. There's no question about it. It's an accountability culture. So the education industry, we have to make sure that children are safe, that staff are safe, and that children are looked after and cared for and given the greatest chance that they can in life through our education. At the same time, though, the organization can flip very quickly from accountability to caring. So once any staff member that's in a difficult situation, people will be concerned and worried that that staff member is supported. And our schools are known for providing outstanding pastoral care to students and also to staff members. Now, backing up a little bit here, away from ESF and back to Hong Kong, I've got a question that's come in here from Mohammed. So this is more a general market question. Can foreign engineers get jobs in Hong Kong? So the question is, Mohammed, yes, you can. We're not hiring foreign engineers, but there may be other organizations that are hiring engineers. So what you can do is go to jobsdb.com. You can also look for large construction or engineering companies on LinkedIn or based in Hong Kong and look at their job portals or their job openings on their websites. And I know for sure the construction industry is on fire. You would probably never know that the COVID ever hit the construction industry in Hong Kong. Building is alive and well in Hong Kong, and it's finding project engineers and building engineers, construction engineers, real estate engineers is a really hot commodity right now. That's very much in demand. We've seen double-digit attrition in that part of the market and double-digit salary inflation as well. Also, Ease, welcome Ease. Thanks for joining us from Portugal. And we've got Shakawat, I hope I'm saying that name correctly, viewing from Bangladesh. And Ari, who says, thank you for acknowledging these circumstances. So yes, we're all in this together and we will eventually get through COVID. So don't get discouraged, stay positive, look after yourself. We've got Sudhar-san watching in from India here. So, and there's Cindy, another one of our HR colleagues. Cindy, thanks for joining us. And Yen is also joining us. She says she's happy to be part of the ESF family. We're happy you're part of the family too, Yen. Yeah. And Ease has also asked here about language in the Hong Kong market. So he's asked a question here. Is it a dominantly English role? Is proficiency in English needed for native speakers anywhere from Africa? I think the answer to that would be yes, you would need to have a certain proficiency in English. So Hong Kong is officially a trilingual territory, special administrative region of China. So Mandarin, Cantonese, and English are the main languages. The standard of English is quite high. And I've been in Hong Kong now for coming up to 26 years, been at ESF for 11 years. And it's easier for me to get around now because the level of English is stronger than it was when I first arrived. But you would need that command of English ease. And thank you too, Cindy. We're glad that you enjoy our sharing. All right. What else do we have on our agenda then, Kunal, Mike, and Karen?
I think that the last message is the first message, which is apply to us if you're interested. We are looking for candidates. We're looking across a range of different roles. Regardless of where you're from, we're always interested to hear from you. And don't let COVID get the better of you. Stay positive. And hopefully we'll see you soon with our organization.
That sounds good. So our closing comment here is our slide on pausing and reflecting and self-care, which is a well-being message that we're really emphasizing a lot right now with our staff. Is when you have, when you're not, first of all, be willing to step back, be willing to raise your hand if you need support, if you need assistance. When you have those opportunities to pause and reflect, please do so. And please make sure that self-care is a priority for you. And while we're all globally on the planet, every region, every country is going to be in a different place when it comes to COVID, whether you're in wave 5 or wave 55. But there are things that we do have control of. So we have control of our nutrition, we have control of our sleep, we have control of spending time with family and friends. And I know we might have to socially distance, so it might be limited who we can spend time with at certain times, depending on whatever restrictions you're dealing with. But you can still get together one-on-one or with a few people, and it's those things you have control of. You also have control of the hobbies that you like, the books that you like to read, the music that you like to listen to, and the people that you want to Zoom with around the world. You have control of who you follow on LinkedIn, so please like, comment, share down below. And all this adds up to self-care. Please look after yourself. We're all better together, and we will get through that. So that's our message for today. Anything else for people to add, Karen or Mike or Kunal?
Nothing from me. Thank you for having us again, Charles.
Of course. You make a great team. You make it so easy. Thanks so much for joining us. So Mike, Karen, and Kunal, wish you all a great weekend. To everybody out there in the LinkedIn universe, I wish you all a great weekend. We're also streaming to Facebook and YouTube. So if you're watching from there, thanks for following us. Thanks for watching. And please spread the word that ESF is hiring in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is an amazing place to be. Have a fantastic weekend and look after yourself. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.